Hello everyone, Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. I am doing one of my coasters. And you know these cakes that I made, I usually take the wool from the centre when I'm crocheting. I take it from the outside when I'm knitting. But I have that much habit when I'm knitting, the end, I push it down inside of the centre, and that's what I've done with this one. All of them actually, so I'm having to take it from the outside, because if I try to pull it from the inside, I'll probably pull half the inside out, so I'll have to get out of that habit if I'm going to crochet. But anyway, I'm doing the centres. I've done two. This is my third one. The centre for the coasters. I'm doing these, I have a set of 4 to do, and the mandala. Well, the mandala starts off with the coaster, the same coaster in the centre, and then you just keep going round different stitches all the way around till it gets bigger. So I'm doing 5 of these to start off and then when I change to the next colour, I'll do the next colour on all 5 again, and so on until I have the 4 coasters done. And then I'll continue with the mandala, because that'll be, once I've got the 3 colours in, it'll be a little bit different. I won't be doing the little bit on the edge until I finish the whole lot. So that's what I've been doing this morning. And I was looking through some videos. You know, people that put crochet videos up, and some of them, they deliberately put something in the little thumbnail title to catch your attention, which is what happens with me. I'll say something, you know, oh, you must try this amazing stitch or something like that. And when you check on it, to go in it, it's a stitch anybody can do. Everybody knows. I don't know what they think's amazing about it. And then they get right on your wick. Some of these adverts, some of these videos for crochet are showing you how to do the stitch. But before they start, the stitch maybe only takes a couple of minutes, but before they start, they show you the wool like this, and they turn the wool round and round like this, and then show you put their fingers through it like that, and that's about 5 minutes ago doing that. And then they pick up the crochet hook, and they're showing you the crochet hook, and we're twirling that round and everything, and while there's music playing in the background, you know, no speech or anything, just music going, and they're showing you, you know, the hook and all that, and then the first stitch, and it takes them about 10 minutes just to get the hook into the wool, and then it goes on and on and on like that. It really annoys me. I'm trying to show somebody, when I show somebody a stitch, I show them how to do it, and that's it. But I think some of these adverts, or I think some of these videos, they're probably only 2 or 3 minutes long if they show the actual stitch. But when you make a video on YouTube, if it's less than 8 minutes long, you only get an advert at the start and maybe an advert at the end. And it's those adverts, if they're clicked on, that make us the revenue. But if it's 8 minutes or longer, you get more adverts through the middle of the video. And I think that's why they do all this, for make everything dead slow, so that it takes ages to get through the video, which is really annoying. And I could see it's probably another rant, like, because I've watched quite a lot like that. And they're all like that. There's no speech or anything. You might get maybe some print coming up on the screen telling you what they're doing, what stitch. You know, them ones aren't too bad if they tell you what they're doing, the stitch. But the other ones, I think, are just purposely making the video as long as possible so they get as much revenue as possible off them. I just don't work like that. I like to talk when I do videos, and I'm going to tell you a little story about that. I have 2 sisters, and when my mother was alive, we all used to meet up my mother's on a Saturday, the 3 of us, I have an older sister, Eleanor, and a younger sister, Linda, and I'm the middle one. I was the trouble. We all went up my mother's, met up my mother's on a Saturday, and when we first had our kids, you know, we took our kids up to see our grandkids, and then as I got older, and I was taking my great grandkids up. I'm the only one out of the three of us that's got great grandkids now. But anyway, we used to go up, and I used to say to my mum, you know, especially when the kids start talking, I says, they never shut up. And Mama said to me, oh, you've got room to talk. She says, I wish we'd had recorders and all that when you were little. She says, from the day, she says, your first words when you first started talking, she says, from you getting up in the morning to going to bed, she says, you never shut up all day. And she says, and sometimes you used to be talking in your sleep as well. She says, sometimes we felt like ganging you. And I used to say, hey, I said, will you stop calling me like that? And then my other sister, Linda, I said, she's still like that, Mum. And that's what I am like. I've always been able to talk. I've never ever been lost for conversation. I'm counting my stitches I go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got another 2 more to do around this round. But anyway, it's our bingo tonight. Me and my friend Anne, we're going to bingo tonight. And we found out a little bit of something that's happened with the 2 ladies, the 2 sisters who sit on the table next to us. A few weeks ago, one of the ladies, the younger one, she's in her 80s, Anne, she wasn't there. And her sister, Molly, she's an older lady, she's in her 90s. She came in and told us that Anne had pneumonia, so we wouldn't be seeing her for a little while. But anyway, it was a couple of weeks later, Molly disappeared as well. And one of the young girls that sits on the table further down from her actually lives near where Molly and Anne lives, and she told us that Molly had had an accident. She'd broke her hip. So we won't be seeing Molly for a while either. Well, last week, the same young girl came in and she told us, she says, you'll probably not see Anne ever again. And we're asking you a bit concerned, why, you know? She says, because she's actually got cancer, that's why, probably why she's ended up with pneumonia and all that, she's really bad, like, so it looks like we're going to lose at least one. But I don't know about Molly because of her age in her 90s and breaking her hip, and if she's okay, it's about 3 weeks or something, I think, since she broke her hip, so she may possibly come back when she's okay. But it was her sister Anne, it was her husband that used to drive them to the bingo. He used to drive the 2 of them to the bingo because Molly's husband had dementia. Molly was looking after him at the time, so I think he's gone into a home. So we're really missing the 2 sisters. But that's, you know, it's life, isn't it? Anyway, I'm doing what I can before I go to bingo tonight, so I'm probably just going to do the 5 of these this morning and put them down till tomorrow and do some more tomorrow. But I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have one more little set of stitches to do for the pedal, and then I'll put these down and show you what else I've been doing. 2, that's 4, 5, 1 chain and join it to the other side. and snip that off. And then weave this end in, keep it out of the way. So that's my 3 there. I have another 2 to do. Now put that back in the bag with my hook for now. And I have done 1 set here. This set is for Janet. So she wants me to wait until she's sending me the payment by post. So she wants me to wait until I get the payment before I send them off to her. Because she wants to make sure I'm getting the payment. You know, I just sent them off to her anyway, but I'll do what she wants and hang on to them until I get the letter off Janet. So those are all finished, ready for you, Janet. And these little ones I'm doing are for Pat. I'll just put those in the bag out the way as well, because they're so small I don't want to get them lost. But I have been doing, this is the second sleeve on the blackberry one. So I'm getting that far with that one. It'll not be long now for that to be finished. I may do spend an hour or something on that one this afternoon, because I'll not be doing as much knitting. It'll be my own that I won't be doing tonight because I'm going to bingo. But I might spend maybe about an hour after my tea while I'm waiting for, because I leave the house about 10 to 7 and I'll finish my tea by 6 o'clock. So I might sit and do a little bit of that, seeing as I've been doing the crochet this morning. And then this afternoon, because it is just after 11 now, so by the time I get my lunch I'll be doing the blanket this afternoon. So that's how much I've done of that one, that sleeve and the blanket. I put the cable all the way around there, stick one end in and one end's around the other side and wrap the cable around, because there's getting so much of it now. I'll take it out. That's the one that's not on this, hasn't got the stitches on at the moment. I did manage to get some, I'll go and get them and show them, because it is a long time since I've shown them, some other needles with cables on. Before I show you what I've been doing with the blanket. These are needles with cables on. As you can see, they've got the little stoppers on the end, like what you get on proper needles. They're great to work with. It's like having, instead of going round in circles, it's like what I'm using, but I'm using 2 proper circular ones. But these are only 7mm and I'm using 8mm on the blanket. I think maybe for doing blankets these would be better. I think maybe I'd add a few extra stitches to make up for the different size in the needles. But I wished I could get a few of these in different sizes. These are made by Addy. I think it's Addy. And the only ones I seem to be able to find is the ones I have. And 2mm. Well, 2mm is very fine. But I would have quite a few of these if I could find more different sizes in them. But I've been on just about every online place I can think of that would sell needles, you know, and they just don't seem to have heard of these. These are called Flexibell, Addie's Flexibell, and I think there's a place called Knitting Hens, somewhere like that. I can't even remember where I got these from actually. But they are Addie Flexibell for anyone that might want that size anyway, 7mm. I can't seem to find any other sizes in them. And Addie seem to be the only ones that do them. I wish there was more did them and they come in different sizes, but I'm not really that happy with these ones all, because as you can see, that curls up like that, and it doesn't matter how many times I put it into hot water and it just will not straighten, and it just keeps curling up like that. But they're okay, you know, if you can get away with that, if you can manage that. Sometimes maybe better to put some sort of little weight on the end to pull them down. But I like those when I was using them, but I think if I do any more blankets, I think I'm going to use these, but I'm going to add a few extra stitches to the to my actual pattern that I have made myself. I'll have to add 1 or 2 more stitches to make up for the different size in the needles. But anyway, I'll put those down and show you what I was doing now. I think I might have to start another weight. I don't think there's enough weight to finish what I have to do on this one. I'll put the wool down there, and that is how far I've got. And as you can see, it's a lot longer. It's actually, I think it measures about 26 or 27 inches now. I'll have to see if I can measure it on my knee. I know I haven't got much more to do now with my tape measure. It's hard to measure because it goes up and down on my knee. Oh no, it's not. It's quite a bit more than I thought. I'll have to loosen my tape measure. Oh, I'm about 28, nearly 29 inches. I think it's actually nearly ready to do the, I do it to it measures 30 inches, and I'm not sure it's about 28 or 29. I'll have to put it flat on the floor and measure it. And then I only have the 6 rows, I think it's in 6 rows. I do 5 rows of garter and 1 row to cast off on the end. So I'm going to just put this on the floor for a minute to measure it properly, because it'll be out flat on the floor. So I had to bend down like that to measure it. My hair's all falling out down the front here. So I've measured it out flat, and I think when I've been measuring it on my knee, it must have been stretching it a little bit because it measured 27 inches. So I have to knit another 2 inches of the pattern, which is about, let's see what 2 inches of pattern is. 3, 6, about 8 rows, around about 8 rows. And then do the 6, end with the 6 rows, well the 5 rows and the 1 row for cast off a garter stitch. So that one's nearly finished. I'll probably get that finished this afternoon. That's that measure. I'll put the wool in there, but I think I'm going to have to get another bit of white because I don't think there's enough there to finish it. That there, and my own. I am on to the second front. That's how far I've got with that. So I'm not sure how far I've got with that. I go up to about 15 inches for the to measure before I get to the armholes, and that is just over 10 inches. So I've got about another 5 inches to do on that, and I'll be up to the armholes. So that one's coming along pretty quick now. But like I say, I do like doing this pattern because it is very quick to knit. even though it's a lacy pattern, because you only have 4 rows where you're knitting the lacy pattern, and then you have 6 rows. I've got 6 rows in between. On the smaller ones, the children's ones, I've only put 4 rows in between, but this one I've got 6 rows in between to make it a little bit more space between the rosebuds. So that one's not be too long for that one. I'll be onto the sleeves before long. I'll probably get a little bit of that done when I come in from my bingo tonight, maybe it's for about an hour and a half, because there's usually just after 10 when I get in from the bingo. And that is all I have to tell you what I've been doing today. What I've been doing up to today anyway. So thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you all another time. So bye for now.